Oh, let's go. When you come in, you come in. Yes.
All our illusions will disappear, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace. I love y'all.
The reasons that we're here.
Welcome to Reasons on Fired Up Thursdays, y'all. We glad you tapped in. We started on time today, so forgive us or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because we got to be on time now. I'm your boy Fuel, and we got your man here.
Fat boy in the building. You already know what type of time we on. We here, y'all. What's up? What's up?
And we got a great show for you guys today. We're talking a lot. We got quite a few interesting what I want to say.
Topics.
Quite a few interesting topics to talk about today. That's what I'm saying. Hey, so we have talking about Joe Biden and the cotton picking.
He wild. I want to hear about this. I gotta pull this story up, y'all, because I ain't heard about this.
We're gonna talk about P-Diddy and him with the artists and publishing. We're gonna talk about the young lady that you guys probably haven't heard. Well, I'm sure y'all have heard. It's been over the internet all week. The young lady that got hit with the brick. She got hit with the brick in her face or whatever, and was mad because a lot of black men around didn't help her. And we're going to get into that now. Also, now if you guys actually want to tap in on that when we get to that part, you guys stay tuned, of course, you know what I'm saying, because it take a minute for us to get to that part. I'm actually going to put up a code here so y'all can actually come in on the show if y'all like. And it's going to be marked here at the bottom of the screen right now. And basically you can, you can't tap it. You might have to either write it down or type it in or whatever in your browser or whatever, and then, come in that way. And then we're also talking about losing gender roles in a relationship. Is it only a black thing? Is it? All right. And then we're talking about, would you date your ex-relative? Why or why not? Yeah, that's official. I think I've been watching too much news. That's probably where that came from, or too much soap operas. That's where that came from, man. Right, boy. You do know the camera's on you, right?
I do know. I know.
Okay, all right.
Looking at this. Yeah, no, I know. I'm looking at this.
Age with our peoples.
I'm
we got here. We got Marlon's in the house. What's up with
you, Marlon?
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there watching the football game. It's the first day of the season for football and everything. So, hey
man, y'all better not diss us for no case.
My Chiefs better win. Rob's in the house. I see you. Yes. We're doing a little later show today.
It's a late show, man.
Yeah. So and actually, because I want everybody to watch the game, and be able to come in. And now they look like the Chiefs are losing, so you guys can come on in. No, they got time. All right, man. Let's get into it, man. You ready? Let's go on this first topic, man. So here, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up here. It's about the young guy. Joe Biden announced that cotton picking jobs paying $300 an hour. I had basically pulled up a video of a young man that basically really was thinking about it, just like you was, Fat Boy, when I first told you about this or whatever. And I'm gonna let you see it and see what you think about it. All right. Here we go.
What y'all thinking? I know what y'all thinking. Give me a second. I know over the years we've been having a problem with with the cotton picking and stuff, and we don't really take this too kindly, but I ain't gonna lie. $300 an hour? I ain't gonna lie, this better than his job. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Sign me up. I want to say it.
No, for real.
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
sign me all the way up. Matter of fact, is it on Snag a Job? Is it on where do I sign up? I don't feel right saying it.
All right, man. let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that. So,
hey, perfect sound and everything.
Hey, dude, that's a hard one to swallow, though. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, but man, I don't know, man. We can't go for the trickery.
Of course, don't go for the trickery.
Don't go for the trickery. We would be back into slavery, dude, in a modern time, in a modern way, if we were to go. I think, I'm sure.
Okay,
I know people.
First of all,
I know. No, I'm just saying.
Don't disrespect the ancestors because they did not make $300 an hour.
That's my point.
Let's get this shit twisted. Now, hold on.
That's my point.
Shit'll be a whole lot different for Black Americans if they made $300 an hour during the cotton picking times, brother. We'd be in a whole lot of an economic position. All jokes aside, I'm about to say some real shit, and then I'm a clown after I say the real shit. All jokes aside, this just let you know that no matter where we vote and who we vote for, they all trying to force us back to the good old days. In some way. I voted for Joe Biden and I'm disappointed. I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm disappointed that he would use this as a ploy to get reelected, and then to use this job title just to really basically throw the African American trauma back in our face. It's a constant reminder, right?
But that's only if it's 100% true.
Now that's only I'm on Newsweek. And I'm trying to fact check it. That's what I was reading when I got it.
You seen it on Newsweek?
I seen it on Newsweek. And so Newsweek is saying that it may be true. So we don't know because he says that they're adding 187,000 jobs, right? Because he did not a State of the Union, but he did a message basically on where we at right now as a nation. Now on the flip side of this, that's a nice little chunk of change. Now, I'm not going to be the brother, right, to say, don't go pick cotton for $300. Because listen, I'm going to say this, and this is about to sound crazy as shit. Right. Our biggest issue right now is that we don't import anything. We don't export anything. I think that if we do begin to start to farm cotton again, and we do begin to farm tobacco again, and we do begin to farm rice again, and we start to export these things, a lot of those things can help cut down our deficit. Because that was where we were at our poverty. Hold on.
Well, our ancestors, I'm gonna have to cut you off on there, man.
No, hold on. I'm going somewhere else with this.
Hurry up, man. Get there. Come on, let's go.
What I'm saying is, I am not opposed of reopening those industries. Now, should it be an all black industry and all black people working? No, I'm saying that if we put these jobs back on the market, right, America will become a more thriving industry because we need to start producing our own shit, period, right? But because of the dark past on it, it's frowned upon and it's looked upon negatively because it wasn't at the time it was used negatively. But what I'm saying is that we can use this for a positive vibe. Now, the cotton picking may be too far, but tobacco, rice, those are one of our main productions. But go ahead.
Oh wait, dude. I don't care. The thing was when back in the day when cotton was picked and everything, it was for the production of the country, the economy at that time, and we were doing it for nothing, or basically for nothing, right? Okay, so when you go
We weren't
into
doing
the,
it for nothing, but go ahead.
I mean, they was doing it for they was they weren't getting paid big or at all for it.
Well,
They
they
was
wasn't
getting
getting
paid.
paid at all.
Exactly.
You
That's what
talking
I'm
about what
saying.
they were doing it for? Okay,
That's
I
my
get what
point.
you're
My
saying.
point. So it only benefited the country. It only benefited those, the slave owners. It only benefit that stuff, that type of thing. This is the same scenario, just on a bigger scale, and to be able to draw you back in.
I agree with that.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
And when I say that, it's because look at how prices is right now. After a while, $300 an hour probably ain't gonna be nothing. By the time you finish spending that $300 an hour, you probably still
So I
just
found
rent.
it. It
You know what
is
I'm
a
saying?
hoax. You heard me? It is a
Uh,
hoax. Sorry to cut you off. It is a hoax. It
yeah.
said it's
Oh, it
not
is.
true.
Okay.
It's not true.
But still, I
But
mean,
still, even though, but okay, I do get what you're saying about that. But what I'm saying is you thinking of it as just black people. So what I'm saying
I'm
is
thinking of it as a whole period, because it's going to
I'm
be
saying that
majority black people
if it
too.
wasn't, that's what I mean. Take the culture, take that out. I'm saying
Okay,
that
let's take the culture out.
if we had these industries, right? Just like we have McDonald's and Walmart, right? If America created these industries again and allowed Americans, not just African Americans, but Americans to have these jobs again, right?
Yeah,
And we were able to produce our own products and
we're
become
still
an
gonna get
exporting country again, would this not be a good topic? Would this not be a good decision? Once you hold on, because you're still thinking of it as cotton
It's the
picking
only
niggas.
way you can't think of it.
That's what I'm saying. But take out that part of it and
You
bring
can't.
the industry.
You
But you
can't, because
can.
it happened.
You can. You know
You
why you
cannot
can?
think that way
You know why
because
you
it
can?
happened.
You know
It's
why
our
you can?
history.
You know why you can? Because you eat at Denny's. You know why you can? Because you do a lot of shit that our people didn't do. You shop at Macy's. We couldn't even go in that motherfucker. So
Okay.
we can't just say that we just so cultural. Excuse me, I'm loud. We can't just say that we're so culturally we can't say that we so culturally aware that we cannot see that these, because I really truly think that we need to start getting back to the factories and the industrialism and the cotton. I think we do, because I think that that's our biggest issue. I think that that's the reason why, hold on. I think that's the
If
reason
it's a
why
better
brick,
manufacturer type of way of doing it, is one way.
I think that's the reason why brick is able to establish the foothold that they're establishing and doing what they're doing over there with their dollar and trying to make it hard for the dollar, because we have no exports. So all I'm saying is, as an American, I'm open to all industries.
That ain't
Now,
the way.
I'm not
That's all
open
I can
for,
say.
I'm
That
not,
ain't the
hold
way.
on. I'm not
I'm just saying,
open
that ain't
for
the way.
exploit. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not open for exploiting a specific demographic for that industry. Now go. Now listen to what I said. I'm open to new industries, but I'm not open to the exploitations of a specific demographic, right? Right. I'm not open to that, right? But what I'm saying is, when I seen this and I seen the $300 an hour, it sparked like damn, these are the industries we don't have no more. And our biggest problem as a country, no matter if you believe it or not, in the stigma on it and what it go with, our biggest problem that we in a deficit is because we lack these industries, right? A big part of that. So
That's understandable.
but
But
hold on, but because
no, man,
it
come on.
has such a, I get exactly what you're saying. Because but because it has such a bad history, right? And that's
Yeah.
understandable, because it has such a
Right,
bad
right.
history that people immediately as culturally it has a trauma on it. But what I'm saying is, it would be cool if a motherfucker can get a nice motherfucking factory job busting
But,
down.
let's make sense of this. Let's
Busting
make
down
sense of it.
rice.
Yeah, that will make sense of it. Make sense
Chris, you
of it.
do it in a warehouse.
What? No. What other job? When you got, like you said, you got people out there. You got Latinos out there pulling vegetables and all that, working hard labor and all that stuff or whatever. And Nick, you making my phone go off during the show. But I got you though. I got you. But what job, you know what I'm saying? Talking about $300 an hour. And of course, like you said, it is a hoax. Thank goodness it is, whatever. But if it was the case or whatever, that's trickery into getting into something back into the day, because the first person is going to sign up is probably some Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of money for now. But then by the time inflation is the way the inflation going and shit, like, that money ain't gonna be worth nothing after a while. You know what I mean? So I don't go for the trickery. I wouldn't go for the trickery or whatever. They're not even paying nobody that's out there in the fields. They're not paying nobody out there in the fields now $300 an hour. So so tell me, why would they just do that just for a cotton? Well, if it ain't to try to trick somebody into going. Let's go here. Let's go here real quick to the we got Marlins in the house. We got Rob in the house. I know, right? We got Veg is in the house. I see you. Well, of course, we got Lust in the house with Nick. D is in the house. Thank you. Marlon. Of course, we got Marlon. Man, we got a lot of comments, so I'm gonna try to get through this because Fat Boy was going. He was going. I couldn't cut him off, y'all. He wouldn't let me. I was trying to cut him off so I can get to y'all. Here we go. Rob said the show is late. Yeah. Veg said, I know football. I know fired up though. Oh, okay. That's what's up, Veg. I appreciate you. What did Marlon say here? Here we go.
Marlon said, I thought I was tripping. I thought this was a recording. No, in the flesh, you see the V state.
Right. Yeah, we live, man. We trying to late this time or whatever. Because of the game. And I mean, if we get the good views in and you guys come on and if it's more comfortable to come on this late, let us know. We want to be there for y'all that y'all those that have been missing the shows and stuff. So let us know. Rossi 300 an hour. Is that real? Nope. It's not Rob.
It's not real.
Some stuff I can't compromise my dignity and self-respect. Thank you, D. That's what D said. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely what I get out from it, period. You know what I mean? Regardless of how much you pay me for. I don't vote because none of these candidates are ever worth it. I'm ready for a female leader. You might end up getting that. I heard what's the name may be Veg trying to may try to run. I don't know. Our vice president.
Man, she ain't getting my vote. We ain't seen her one damn time.
I've seen her on stuff. I've seen her on a lot of things. I have. I've seen her.
You seen her on what lot of things that ain't nobody else seen her on, Phil?
Well, actually, she was just on the talk show for what's her name? The black chick. What's her name? The black girl that got the talk show.
It's presidential candidate run. That's why she's on TV, bro.
Well, exactly. But she's.
We didn't see Sleepy Joe way more than her. We seen. This is my thing, and I'm gonna let you finish the comments. We seen Sleepy Joe more as a vice president than we have ever seen Kamala Harris as a vice president, and I'm gonna let that sink in.
I'm gonna say you seen. I've seen more. I've seen her on certain things. I've been watching though. It's the House period. The presidents are the face. Biden is 100. Trump is a madman. Come on now. That's what Nick said. I'm gonna try to get through that. Let me go down, you guys. I'm gonna catch up so we can keep going rolling with the show. Let's see what you say, Bob. Oh, Rob said, and we ain't got to pick nothing. We can ride lawnmowers that pick cottons for us. We just the operator. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like you got a machine that's going to do or whatever for $300 an hour. We riding or whatever. That's a whole different thing. But
this is what I'm saying. Even what I'm saying, when you thought of it, immediately you thought wade in the water. So you wasn't even thinking that we in 2023, so it ain't gonna be that anyway, right? It ain't gonna be wade in the water because we were in a whole new organization. It's gonna be a lot more technology, and if these industries, like I said, were to be developed, it could be a lot. It'll be a good for us. And shit, it ain't got to be black people to work it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Like I ain't with it, and I'm glad it is phony news because I can't get with it.
It'd be a bunch of cotton picking
My cousin
niggas out
left
here.
Best
I'm gonna
Buy.
say this: it'd be a bunch of cotton picking niggas out here if they
Right.
start watching offered $100,000 a year. I'm gonna tell you that.
Veg said my cousin left Best Buy to go pick some peaches because it pays better.
See?
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it ain't no $300 an hour. I don't give a damn. Let me know if you picking some peaches for $300 an hour. I'll probably go pick peaches.
I'm gonna go pick them peaches. See,
I do peaches. I don't know peaches, though. It's just something about the cotton thing. I just
can't pick them peaches.
This ain't gonna sit with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the next one, y'all. Let's get to the next one. What was the next, fat boy? P-Diddy.
Oh,
you got the news on this one. You got the scoop on this.
Okay.
P-Diddy released all Bad Boy artist publishings.
Yeah.
So
sometime this week, I'm gonna give you the date because I got it all up in here. But this month or last week or so, P-Diddy has legally signed over the publishing to all of the artists. He signed the documents with the Christopher Wallace estate, Faith Evans, Mace, Mark Curry. All of these artists are getting back their royalties, which is a good thing. There's been a lot of backlash about it because a lot of people have their own opinion, and we're going to get to that later. But in the article, and y'all know I keep my article, so I got to tell you what it really is. In the article in USA Today, it says that basically it says that he's giving back the artists their royalties and their publishing to boost economic and financial literacy in the African American community or in the Black community. So that's what he says he's doing. If you guys haven't known, maybe a year ago, 6 months ago, he fell into he's love. He's love. He's not even P. Diddy. He's love. And so he's kind of been on this wave and this kick. But a lot of people have something to say about it. And I got a video for you today, and Phil gonna play it for you, and then we're gonna get back and jump into it.
All right, I can pull it up here, man. Some reason tab or whatever. Keep giving him a little bit more info.
Yeah, I got you. So what I want to do is I want to give y'all a list of the artists. So the artists include Diddy himself, the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, Craig Mack, Mace, Machine Gun Kelly, Stevie J, Black Rob, Rick Ross, 112, French Montana, Danny D. Kane, Loon, Shine, Young Jock, The Lox, New Edition, Quincy Brown, which is his son, Mario Winans, Harv Pierre, Total, Carl Thomas, Jadakiss, Mark Curry, Foxy Brown, G. Depp, Chunky Thompson, I'm sorry, Derek Angeletti, Janelle Monáe, Cassie, Fabulous, Easy Mo B, Chic Luch, Ryan Leslie, Gorilla Zoe, Diddy Dirty Money, Sherry Denise, The Band, Day 26, Slim, Dream, Oreo Day, B5, Boys in the Hood, Bow Wow. You got some artists, Jeezy,
he's got
Red
a lot
Cat.
of artists.
Yeah, so all of these artists are expecting to get their publishing back.
All right,
so they said, but for sure.
So let's get the controversy behind it.
Go ahead.
What was it worth 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and what's it worth now? What did he give you back? I'm telling you, he gave me mine back a long time ago. I was the first person he called. He said, Mark, I want you to be the first person that know this. I'm giving all my artists back their publishing. which is equivalent to giving back your girlfriend after he done poked her in the booty and raped her and did everything that he got all of the worth out. It's like a spider went in and sucked all of the insides out of it and then give it back. That's disrespectful. I told her, why don't you just keep it and pay me? I don't want the publishing. I want the money. Come on, y'all think he doing a good thing because he give back some publishing? Come on, man. It's not worth anything. And then he don't have the Ciroc or the DeLeon, and then he gonna give $1 million to Jackson State like he doing some humanitarian type thing. He just trying to do whatever he can to keep his name relevant so he can go for a new deal because he don't really have nothing that's making him no money right now. He's not even a billionaire no more. So let's talk.
Okay. All right. So
I didn't hear that whole thing. I didn't go through the whole thing like that.
Right.
Deep on him.
Yeah, and this is the thing. And I agree 100% with him or whatever. Why you do it a long time ago when it was actually making money? You know, right now, if you're in the music business and you understand how publishing works and how you get paid on those publishings quarterly, you get a certain amount of money or whatever, and then after it's just like in acting. Like I did Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I still get paid for it. My first year or two or whatever, that's the big bucks. That's when you get a whole lot. But then after like 4 or 5 years, right now I probably get maybe a check still for $100, if that much. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way that it works in the industry with music industry or whatever. And so I get what he's saying because it's not worth shit, really. You know what I mean? And he had an offer. I think he tried to make it seem like he just had an offer still to sell the catalog to someone.
He did. It was it was confirmed in USA Today. He had an offer on the table, but instead of selling it, he gave them they publishing.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I understand the frustration behind it or whatever. And not only that, the other point that he made is just trying to keep his name relevant. Did you realize that he had a single that just come out?
Me and my girl was just talking about that. I mean,
he's got an album coming out, so
it's always. Like I mean, this is what I told her. Mark Curry has great points, but he's missing the fact that Diddy is kind of always going to be relevant because he's one of the voices of the culture. So if you gonna make it in the game, or if you in the game, you going to run into Diddy. That's one. Two, he has a whole network, which is Revolt, that he's a part of, that he's running, that he owns, right? He's a part owner, or he's an owner of, that has Drink Champs, that has a celebrity basketball league that they film, that they have. He has a running television a network. Okay, so he's always relevant. I do think that he's trying to keep his name in a white hot space. I disagree. Right, with
you think his name is actually relevant in the Black community still?
I think his name's always relevant in the Black community. Just because in some way you gon' get yourself back to him, right? In some way you're gonna hear a song of his. He always around. Like I was telling my girl, he always around. You may not know it, right? You seen Drink Champs, but you didn't even know it was on Revolt, and he owned that. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's everywhere. Right. You're going to see him. He's there. I also disagree with the publishing being worth nothing.
Only if they can sell that publishing to someone. It's the only way it's worth anything.
Not necessarily.
No, dude, I know. I'm in the business. I know.
When you have a catalog as extensive as, say, a Notorious Biggie, right? A Notorious B.I.G. or a Faith Evans or a Mace, right? That them songs and them hits, they're able to sell it, right? But they're also able to leverage and license out music for songs, right? They're also able to.
That is true.
Hold on, it's a lot of other things you can do. And then also what he did not mention is now we're in an era of streaming. And so Notorious B.I.G., we can Google it. He's definitely getting anywhere from 20 million to 100 million streams a month. and that's a part of the
You know what
publishing.
though? But you know what? But there's still a problem in streaming though, because they're not getting paid
Hold on,
like
but
they
what I'm
supposed to.
saying is, what you guys are saying is it's worth. It's not worthless. He's writing that he should have been gave it back, right? He sucked it out. He sucked it dry. But for those artists who at the top, they're gonna be able. Their children are going to be able to eat off this, right? And which it should
If
have
they're
been
able,
done. It should have been done.
if they're able to be creative, like you're saying, if they're able to be creative and make something out of it, whatever, just like you said with the streaming,
It's
especially
already
with a lot of things, with a lot of people
when you
using
get
music and
publishing. Hold
TikTok
on.
and all these things.
When you
Well, no, let me finish. Let me finish. So if they're able to do that, that's one thing, right? But if not for those that's not really that much into the business or whatever, half of them probably don't even know or would even do that. And if you can sell it, yes, that's probably another source of basically making some kind of money. But you're not going to make the money that say like he would have made if he would have sold it to someone else. You're not going to make that type of money. So what I'm saying is the value of it has went down. Now the only thing that makes sense is that Mace, because Mace was the main one of the main ones arguing about having his shit or whatever, and Cameron, I think it was Cameron. I think they're supposed to be getting together on a song that they did that Diddy had control of, and they couldn't put it out, and they're going to put it out. Now that's a creative way to do it and to make your money and try to.
They've been doing that lately, but with the streaming on the music side of it, as an estate, he has a publishing company. So the publishing company is pretty much probably connected to either ASCAP or BMI. And BMI and Royalty Exchange, all of it, they collect the royalties for you. And so when you own your publishing now, that shit coming to their mailbox now. Now you have to get creative with the licensing and things like that, because prime example. That's why I say I don't want to agree with that.
Is
Hold
part
on.
Of the licensing.
Prime example. Just recently, Nicki Minaj sampled Rick James. She had to go to his daughter, right. To clear, which then ran up that estate again because it makes it popular again. So I disagree with it not being valuable. Now, Mark Curry's may not be as valuable, right? But
any other artist that hasn't progressed big or kept their name out there or been out there, whatever, for them is not as valuable, because unless like I said, unless you're right, if they are able to get creative with it and do something with it, yes, if they know how to take advantage of that part. But for just giving it to me and you know what I'm saying, and I can't really do nothing. Because like I said, it's not going to be worth the value as it being part of a Bad Boy as it is, or be just my personal. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be as worth.
This is what I'm saying. You are separating the entity. Once you own the publishing, it's going to still spin as if it's a Bad Boy record, but you get the back end. Does you get what I'm saying? Because the spins of Whoa spin every month. Do you get what I'm saying? It's already Whoa. Yeah. Do you get me? It's already Whoa. So every month, Whoa produces, say, $100,000, or every quarter, Whoa produces $250,000 in streaming and these things. That is still lucrative, right? Now, if I'm an artist.
They're not doing that much.
Shit, man.
These streams are. Why you think they're complaining about these streams, dude?
Absolutely.
They're not getting paid their money. They're due. They're not getting their due that they're supposed to get.
What I'm saying is, if in 4 months,
not getting that much.
Even if in 4 months, if $1 million, if 1 million streams, okay, we're gonna do it on their terms. If 1 million streams is, say, $5,000, right? And I'm doing 10 million a month. 10 times 5 is what?
That's not the way.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
It's the way it's supposed to work. That's not how it's working.
But
that's why you think they're striking about these type of things, dude.
They're striking about it.
They're not getting the stream
because they're paying so little. But
they're not getting paid.
The going rate for these is this.
When I say they're not getting paid, they're not getting paid. ask any artist that you know, and ask any professional artist how much they're getting for their stream. You'll be surprised to hear how much
That's
they're getting.
because they don't own their publishing, brother.
I'm talking about
Hold
those
on.
that have.
Listen
I'm
to
talking about
me.
independent
Hold
artists.
on. I used to
Even
go to
independent.
hold
Okay,
on.
say independent
Hold on.
artists.
I used to go to music. I used to go to
I used to be
music.
in the
Hold
music,
on.
bro.
What I'm
I
saying
know.
is in the industry, the reason why a lot of artists don't make money is because they don't own the publishing and the masters. Because a lot of times, okay, so maybe 2 years ago, the hip hop or
Hurry up on this.
music industry artists, they only made music made $4 billion, but the top artists only made like $1 billion because the record labels are getting the backhand.
Yo, your calculation, bro, is
It's an article on it. It's an article on it. It's an article on it.
Let me
labels
hit you on something. Let me hit you on something. And I'm talking about the streaming. I'm not talking. I understand
talking
the whole
in
point. The
general.
whole
I'm saying in
fight of
general.
everyone. The whole fight of everything is because people want to be, have their own publishing or whatever, because that's where the money is, of course, and that's what the record industries basically were cheating them on at the time. So that's understood, whatever. But what I'm saying is, and you have it on your own as an independent artist, it's not as lucrative as they're saying, or people think that it is. And that's why there's been strikes about it. That's why you have big time artists talking about like Katy Perry and all these other ones or whatever, big time, huge, big time, and understand that they're not getting much at all for their streaming. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
Is,
so
I get that's a whole different argument. There's a different argument with streaming, but what you guys are saying is that it's worthless, and that's a miscontext because it's not worthless. Even you still
only
get
if you don't know
paid.
what you're doing.
You still get paid $100 for some shit you did 10 years ago.
Well, I get that, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But
so
it's not.
Hold on.
When 10 years ago, you should have been making 20 million,
This
20,000.
is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
that's what he's saying.
But does that make that role worthless?
Dude,
when it comes to residual income, that's what it means. You still get paid 10 years from some shit you did years ago.
I take it like this. Mark Curry has been in the business for millions of years, however long, right? A long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
And if he got his royalties, I mean his publishing of maybe however many years back or whatever, and he says now that it's worthless, trust me, dude, it's worthless.
I doubt
it. And this is coming from the horse's mouth, and that's what I look at.
Listen.
Let's get the comments real quick.
Go ahead.
Rob said, "Oh wow," I'm not sure what that was about. Rob, oh wow, because we've been going a lot. I can't stop that boy. He be going. I be losing too. I be losing. That's love. You talking about that's love by giving them their publishing? And in a way it is. In a way
later on down the line it could be.
Yeah, in a way it is. In a way,
should have been gave it back. Though. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I think you should have been done it, but I can say that he did mention real quick. Well, no, I ain't gonna go through that because we got too many to go. Damn, he robbed a lot of people. That's what D said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically where it comes down. P-Diddy is a narcissist. He probably got sued. That's what Veg was saying.
Probably.
Let me see. I'm gonna get some more real quick. Let me see a big one. Diddy is a fraud and not one of those artists even like him. Not one of them artists like him. Danny Kane has spoke out about how manipulative he was. He took advantage of Usher. Oh yeah, he's man. You have to know this business is a cutthroat business, and he's basically back in the era where you know what I'm saying it was don't give a fuck attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's kind of like I'm giving you something or whatever that basically maybe helped you out temporarily for that time when you didn't really understand and know what you could be making in the long run, you know, by basically lending you money as opposed to actually giving you money, you know, and you had to pay that money back. And I probably got, 5 folds or whatever just for what I lent you, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Rob said they can do a lot with it. For example, attaching it to NFTs. What's NFTs?
They like digital artwork, so they can make music, and it's a lot of shit they can do with publishing. That's why I'm like, I don't agree with what y'all said, Publishing is different than royalties. Like when you own the rights to it, you can license it out. It's a bigger bag in that. It's a lot of shit going on with that.
That's a good question, Rob. My little brother do music independent, and he gets a couple of thousand every couple months just from streaming.
See,
how many what's the value? What's the streaming? How many?
And he ain't doing 10 million though.
That's what I mean. How much streaming is he doing to be making a couple of thousand? I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. Let me know, Rob. Just curious or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I might be misled about something myself. You know.
I ain't gonna mislead you, but you don't like listen to me, man.
I'm listening. I'm listening, but I've been in the business and I know the shiesty shit that goes on. My brother is in the business. My brother's in the business, nigga. He owns the publishing of stuff, and I know the shiesty things that basically happen with
so
that,
over
that deal.
monthly over on Spotify. You ready? I just had to look this up for you just so you can put this in context.
He did. Rob said not a lot, but go ahead. Yeah,
not a lot of streams. That's what I'm saying. So if he making a couple thousand every few months off of not a lot of streams, Notorious B.I.G. has excuse me, I'm loud. Has a monthly listeners, has 21.4 monthly listeners.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's then I'm gonna find out how much they pay out a month on the
Yeah, that's what I thought you was going to tell me. How
I'm
much?
gonna do that too. But I just want to give you that context. So that's 21.4.
I said $2 to $3 grand for what he does. Okay. Why are you looking that up, man? Let's get into this next one real quick.
Oh yeah, I got you.
All right, so as you guys know, the whole ordeal with oh no, I'm tripping. It's your turn, dog. You got
the brick lady.
History and Blackness, man. Yeah, we got to keep it moving, baby. We got to keep it moving.
You don't want to do the brick? Lady got hit in the head with the brick?
No, History and Blackness first.
All right.
Well, no, we can do it. We can go. Okay, let's go in. All right, guys. As y'all know, the young lady that got hit in the head with the brick this past week has of course been on social media screaming, hollering why people wasn't helping them or helping her. And a lot of people, kind of took offense to that. Some people took offense to it, and some, were on the sides of, the black people, man should have helped, or the man should have helped, or whatever, or the men should have helped. You know what I mean? But I think we're the one, as far as black men, has been getting most of the slack about that or whatever. And she said we just basically watched her get hit with a brick. Well, as I basically kept, and I don't jump right onto the social media at the time when they say these things or whatever, because because it's kind of like hard to find out what the real truth is. And my thing was, let's find the real truth first before, give it a day or two and see what comes out, you know what I'm saying, to see how this led up to her getting hit with the brick. All right. So with that said, let me give you guys a video real quick of what led to her getting hit with the brick. I believe I want to say Veg sent me this, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to. But I think Veg has sent me this or whatever. And if I can find it. But anyway, with that said, she, basically.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about it, my son, and a lot of people jumped out there on it. I seen some of the video. I'll let you play the video. Then I'll give my comments about it. I don't agree with it, but I also feel like we got to hold all people accountable in all situations. We got to stop. We got to stop the madness, man. But I do believe that we got to start standing up more for our black women. I'm gonna start with that there first.
All right. Well, let's pull up the video real quick. Basically, what it is that everybody seen first with her just getting hit with the brick, but they did not see this.
This is the same woman that got hit in the head by that brick. You've heard the same.
What have I
see she smacked somebody, right?
This is the same woman
And
that
she
got
did a
hit in
little
the head
twerk.
by that brick. You've heard the saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. I'm not saying it was her fault, but I'm saying she was living by the sword. This isn't the same man who assaulted her. This man was humble and took the slap and didn't retaliate.
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, "What you gonna do?" And I told all these men, like, "Yo, why this man got a brick on my face?" And he's holding a brick.
Okay, so
Hmm.
I should have brought that up further like that.
You fucked her up, bro.
Huh?
You fucked her up. That's funny. It ain't funny. It ain't funny, Phil. I don't know why you put the camera on me while I started laughing.
No, I was trying to.
It's not
I was
funny.
trying to bring it. I was trying to bring us
Not
both
funny.
up. I couldn't. I
He
don't know why it
fucked the
wasn't.
ear. Hey, that shit. Hey, she looking like Martin off of. She like Martin when he fought Tommy Hearns. She lumped up.
Right. Well, this is the thing. Okay, and it was big. It's been a big thing about this whole ordeal that's been going down as far as why someone didn't help her, or and this is my thing, dog. When and this is just really just the humans as far as us, especially as black men. When you see a lady out there, she might be a little tipsy, you know what I'm saying? Somebody trying to holler at her, she smacks somebody and then she keeps on walking and she twerks, you know what I'm saying? And so the next person come around or whatever, and probably seen that too and wasn't going to take a smack or whatever. But her demeanor and the way that she was going around or whatever is what caused all of the frictions to start to happen. Even though, yes, he had, and no, don't for no reason I think that this was condoned, should have been condoned by this guy hitting her. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone that at all. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to say that those bystanders that basically see this going on or whatever is not thinking about trying to run up and run and help you and stop or whatever the case may be, because you're basically by yourself and you're doing all this crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh, she's fucked up or whatever. You just never know what other people's state of mind is or whatever at that time. It looked like she was big for her britches. She was too big for her britches. That's what Rob said. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I put myself in that position. I was thinking, if I was out in a club and I seen someone acting a fool like that, and she just smacked someone, and then she goes up to somebody else or whatever. We don't know what the exact exchange was. You know what I'm saying? Did you call him a name? Did he call you a name? Of course, with however it is. No, he shouldn't have called you. Rick hit you for sure, but you shouldn't have been there in that. Put yourself in that type of environment, in that type of situation. And you have to think as young black women out there or whatever, and you have to think or whatever, when you're single, don't go out there and acting a fool and be drunk and be by yourself. Understand that there are people that's out there that's ignorant, but don't do it and then blame it on us because we seen it happen and didn't do much. Although someone, and it was said too after that, that was the first video of her showing all this or whatever, but it was said that she actually did get some help from someone, you know what I'm saying? Although after the brick, hit her, then that's when everybody knew. It's like, shit, okay, you know what I mean? That type of thing or whatever. So what do you got?
I'm some of the things that you said are absolutely right. I do want to first off and say that we do definitely got to start as black men, maybe de-escalating the situations, and not letting it get that far. Like, look, little mama, let me get you a cab or something and get you out of here. I think that we so fearful these days as men that we just don't want to get into shit. But I agree with you with saying that you gotta be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. Okay, you can't slap somebody and when they hit your ass, you like, oh, why y'all didn't take up for me? because from the outside looking in, because this is what I felt like the bloggers and all of the conscious minds didn't really address is from the outside looking in. Yes, it looks like that, but then if you there, you see this woman tripping, right?
Exactly.
And you
Right.
see her slapping people, and you see her doing all of these things. Now, I think that a humble-headed brother should come in a situation, say, hey, sister, you gonna get hurt out here. Let me take care of you. Let me get you to the situation. But what if you intervene and she slap you?
Right.
And so you don't really know how the situation is gonna go. Do I think that any man out there, no matter if it was black men or white men, do I think that anybody should allow her to be hit with a brick? No. I think that that's when it should have been like, hey, check this out, bro. You're not gonna hit her with no brick, my nigga. Or you know what I'm saying? Like that's not happening. But
I can see if you in the club though, when you coming from out or whatever the party was going on at the time or whatever, shit's going on fast. Things are going on fast. And if this person was smacking someone or whatever, and even though that dude wasn't the one that hit you with the brick or whatever, which he probably would have been more deserving than anybody else, not to say that that's he should, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean, as opposed to because you just gave a number or wouldn't give you a number, somebody's going to hit you. But like I said, it's just her demeanor, the way that she was carrying herself or whatever, that made people not jump
want to
up
help her.
that
Absolutely.
fast. You know what I'm saying?
I want to help her. That's for you.
You're
not wrong
that's
for
what she
saying
has
that.
to that's what she has to understand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what this person has to understand.
You're not wrong for saying that, Phil. I agree. I think we gotta start being accountable for our actions. That was why first thing I said. I think that had she not been putting her hands on her and on everybody and showing her ass, I think somebody would have stepped in. But I do think that it opens up good. It opens up good clickbait.
Right.
And then it also, I don't like it because it triggers black women to say, oh, well, we just not protected, because that's not true. Because if I'm there, I ain't gonna let her get hit with no brick, but I'm also gonna tell her to calm her ass down and you got to get up out of here because you tripping.
Or it could have escalated quick so fast that you didn't know that this dude was gonna hit her with a brick.
Gonna hit her with a brick. Absolutely. But when I see shit like that, I always pay attention, especially when it comes to sisters. That's just how I was raised. Like, I could be anywhere and I start seeing little funny shit when it comes to sisters, I start paying attention. Yeah. Because of that. Because I would hope if somebody see my grandma out or somebody see my mama out, they'll do the same. Yeah. But I know my mama ain't gonna be causing no trouble like that either, right? I know my Gino ain't gonna be causing no trouble like that. But I say that to say I'm definitely gonna be more vigilant in situations like that because I pay attention and I'm automatically on protect mode because that's just how I was raised. But I don't think you could fault everyone there because her behavior basically canceled out people helping her. And that you got to kind of be honest with yourself and honest with the situation. Do we need to protect black women more when we out? Absolutely. Was that the best situation or the best example for the lack of protection for black women? Absolutely not. Because she was fully in the wrong. There are situations where black women are definitely unprotected and they're not, and they have not done anything. They're wearing their hair covering, or they got their locks in, or they're going to eat, and they've been dismissed and they've been disrespected. Those are the times, and those are the examples that black women need to be protected. I think that we can't blur the lines with things like this because it starts to create this narrative, and she brought that up on herself. And there's some sisters out there that's probably saying the same thing. You got to be careful what you do out here.
Do you agree or disagree that a woman should carry themselves in a certain manner in order, you know what I'm saying, or even if it's just for the bystanders, and know like if you're alone, you know what I'm saying, and carrying yourself in a certain manner to the point where if you're drunk and somebody's bothering you, or if even you don't even have to be drunk, but if somebody's just bothering you or whatever, and you just, because I know, and like you said, I definitely know that if I see a woman by herself and somebody's getting too rowdy with her or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I know this woman is a little tipsy or something or whatever. I'm kind of like, like you said, trying to see what's going on, you know what I'm saying? To make sure that this person's going to be okay. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But if I seen her come out and acting wild and crazy and even putting her hands on someone, it's kind of like, well, then what caused this to escalate like that for you to get hit with a brick? You know what I mean? And then you're gonna be questioning you, and you might come to her aid afterwards, but then the shit be done failed already. The shit be done, you know what I'm saying, happened or whatever. So you can't blame me because I
No.
didn't just stop him when he had the brick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so
to answer your question, I don't think that no one was gonna help her because of her behavior. I do think that I don't want to say nothing crazy. I don't want to say that women should behave a certain way because that ain't my I'm not into that anymore.
like a lady, you're a woman.
Hey, this is what I'm saying. But this is my thing. We in a new world. Traditions are different. Rules have changed, and we're gonna kind of talk about this later on. So I don't want to say I do feel I agree with you traditionally that a woman should act like a lady in presence. But if you want to be equal, you're gonna act the way you want to act. Period. Now, my back end to that is you cannot be upset when you act that way in the results of that action.
That part.
If you want to be aggressive and not act like a lady and be a 1950s woman, be open to what happens to a new age woman. And that sounds crazy when you say it, but that's what's going on, right? Because he's not going to respect you as this certain type of woman when you behave in a certain way. Right. And so a part of being equal is if you say some wild shit to the wrong person, they gonna go upside your head. Yeah. Woman, man,
you understand that before you go out.
Little person,
you gotta understand that.
Yeah. So you gotta understand that in all aspects of the world. So I'm not here. George is not here. Fat Boy is not here to tell you how to act in public. What I am here to tell you,
I'm telling you, act like a lady. Damn it.
Is that if you do not behave a certain way, you cannot be upset with the results of your actions. Exactly. There it is.
Yeah. Well put, bro.
Well, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Rob said, but I also don't think nobody want to get killed over some MF that's out acting wild. Could have been a gun instead. Absolutely. And that's true. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, especially us as men, we know people is carrying and acting a fool and would shoot in a second. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we definitely, maybe case the joint out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, lucky you just got hit with the brick, but it could have been something else, man. And yeah, it's a hard call when you're out acting a fool and someone else, and looking for someone else to protect you. I can say that much. It's definitely a hard call. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we got that out because there was something that was been going on all week or whatever. I wanted to hit it while it was hot, but I had to wait for the show. Mm-hmm. Had to wait for the show. Let's get into this next one. Let's get into
history and blackness, man. Let's get in and get it out of there.
History and blackness, man. It's on you, Fat Boy.
All right, y'all. Another great one. Today we're gonna bring you Margaret Ann Johnson, better known as Maya Angelou, an American memoirist. I had to get that ready for y'all. Poet and civil rights activist. Born in Winston-Salem. I gotta get where she died at. Born in Winston-Salem. I'm sorry, not born in Winston-Salem. Born in St. Louis, Missouri, April 4th, 1928. Died in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in 2014. Once again, the stats is ridiculous. But known for being one of the greatest poets ever. Has 36 books under her belt. one of the greatest books ever written, New York Times bestseller. I Know Why, Cage Bird Scenes. This is one of my mother's favorite books. She's inspired Jateri McKillens, and who wrote Waiting to Exhale. She's inspired a ton of authors and women authors moving forward. A strong activist for the feminist movement as well as the African American culture. She's the first Black female cable car conductor in San Francisco history. She was a member of the Harlem Writers Guild. She served as the SCLC Northern conductor. Coordinator. She spent 5 years in silent. She recited a poem at Clinton's inauguration. But this is something I did not know. She went to school for dance and music. And so she's actually went on to do a Broadway production called Calypso Heatwave, and soon after released her first album called Miss Calypso in 1957. So I want y'all to go check that out because I didn't even know Maya Angelou was a singer. And so it's so much more, so many great things she's done. Hung with people like your Malcolm X's, your Muhammad Ali's, your Dick Gregory's. I mean, she's just as a bigger figure to the movement as Angela Davis.
And you was telling me about her being a street.
Oh, she used to be a street worker. If you ever read
yeah.
I Know Why the Cage Birds Sing, she kind of talks about that. Also, she's her son is a product of a rape, being raped by her mother's husband.
Wow.
But her uncles killed him. Yeah. That was cold.
And the only reason I mentioned it, although you know what I'm saying, you know, we kind of always kind of end up mentioning something negative about one of the people in our Black history, but it's because with her though, it's kind of like you just basically giving a history of where she came from. You know,
she had a rough life
she had before she had, you know, the accolades that she has right now. You know what I mean? And that's basically, you know, a good achievement or whatever, and it comes from, you know, our history to where when we, you know, we basically grown, you know, in poverty, and we grown poor, or we grown, you know what I'm saying, and nobody's was perfect, but how they turned around and changed their lives, you know, and to be able to help others and be an inspiration to others, whatever. And she's one of the inspirations for a lot of us out here in this world. So, cool. You know, shout out to
Maya Angelou's family.
Yes, exactly.
Died like 90 years old though, so she lived a great life. She was there on the front line, man, and I wanted to talk about her today, and I learned some new things about her today. So that's why I love doing this, y'all. I know that you guys don't, but this is a good history because each time I learn something new about people I've been known about. And every time we do this, you're just gonna learn something new about you and your culture and what you can do. So, man, shout out to them.
Yeah, Rob said one of the best.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, man, let's get into this next one. Oh man. Yeah. But we doing pretty good on time, dog. Losing.
You said it.
Is that the right one?
That's
that
it.
is the one I want.
Go in there.
I had to make sure. Yes. Losing gender roles in a relationship. Is it only a Black thing?
Come on, Phil.
I've been seeing postings, I've been seeing TikToks, I've been all these, you know, some shows and things about this ordeal. And there was valid points made as to our culture being the one that's more out of touch with each other's gender roles.
Absolutely.
Right. A part of that, you know what I'm saying, what people have to understand too is that, and they go, I hope y'all won't come at me. Don't come at me. But it is, you know, when we started the whole women's lib and all that type of thing is when all that, you know, started happening. And it had gotten to where a lot of single moms had to make ends meet for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They had to make ends meet for their fathers because their fathers was put in jails. So there's a lot of things that was basically done to our race in order for that, for our gender roles to be a little bit different from the traditional ones from, other race. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they come from. That's really what at least that's where I get from how, why our race is less, have the gender roles, different gender roles, the way gender roles. Why can't I say it right? Gender roles.
Issues. Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a lot of other race don't know that. Well, they know it, but they don't know it. You know what I'm saying? They know of the fact that, a lot, as blacks, we were raised in single households at times. You know what I'm saying? For a long time or whatever. So yes, the mom had to pay the pop, the father role as to bringing in the income and all that kind of stuff, whatever, which made her head of the household. You know, but it was never to the point where, I mean, it's been, I'm not saying never, but for a lot of families, it was never to the point where, their parents, either somebody was in jail or the father done left the mom or they done broke up or whatever the case may be. And that's basically because we were basically already targeted to the system of being in the jail system. I mean, you can have just a traffic ticket and still go to jail for it for however many days, especially if you miss a court date. If your license were suspended, you know what I mean? You down now that snowballs to something else, and then that person go into jail, and then they have a fight. That fight going into it, you know what I'm saying? And now they're more further into the system or whatever. It was already set up for the people to, white folks to basically keep us in those things because it was making money for them. You know what I mean? So that's where that comes from for those who has questions about why our race doesn't have the same gender roles as a lot of other races. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of other races, where women they say know their role. So that's where that comes from. But go ahead, Fat Boy. I'm gonna go.
I agree with you. Great points. I'm gonna take you a little deeper than that. I think that it stems from, and we kind of talked, it stems from slavery, man. It goes back to the pressure and the burden that the master placed on the African American woman by demasculating her man, by being able to rape her and he was defenseless, or not being able to properly provide and always been that. And so it's really been a 100-year plan. And what happened was the feminist movement kind of spearheaded it. And so I've been around a nice amount of black women, not all of them. So this is not a generalizing statement. So let's get that out there. But what is taught in the home amongst young women is to not need a man in our culture. Culturally, in Veg is here, she's able to say that in every other culture, especially like in a Latino culture, the man is revered. He has a certain respect in his household. Veg will tell you that her mom's such a champ. Her mom will damn near go through surgery, not damn near, but go through surgery and then come home and run the household, because that's how she was raised, right? That's all she knows is to take care of the household and provide for her father and for her husband and her son. Veg comes in second place, and she gets upset about it. We talk about it all the time, but that's just how it is in their culture. And it used to be like that in our culture, but over the years, like you said, due to mass incarceration, due to drug addiction, due to men just leaving for other families and the irresponsible things that they were doing in those times, women each year and each decade and each generation in each century become harder and harder on understanding the role. And now it becomes this situation to where you almost have to prove your submission. Everyone else gets automatic submission. The black man has to prove it, right? Because he's lost respect for so long.
You think it's harder for us now?
Absolutely. Because he's just lost respect for so long. He's the last man. He doesn't own anything, right? Most of his credit is not where it needs to be. I'm saying as a whole, right? And so when you see us, we're not respected like that. And so we have a lot to prove, not to mention we're entering a playing field where our women are making more money than us. Right. It's not that time where all men are making more money than women. It's not that era. And so
but you have families, you have other cultures that basically where the women actually do make money and make probably even more money than their husbands or whatever, but they know their role.
Absolutely. But that's like you say, they was raised that way.
One of the arguments was that it's kind of like we don't cling on to those roles, or the women don't cling on to those roles or whatever, even when they're making as much money. They don't understand it. It's the fact, just because you're making the money, your role
don't mean your role change.
Yeah, that don't mean that your role is that you can run, a man.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I have discussions about that often. I have discussions about that often.
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically has been a thing or whatever. And what causes a lot of arguments in relationships and breakups because of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, if I'm the man or whatever and I'm running the household, but you come into me disrespectful and trying to belittle me just because you make more money and feel like, oh, well, you can go on or whatever, I got this by myself attitude. You know what I mean? It's kind of that's just not the attitude to have.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Especially if you in it together. You know what I'm saying? Let that man be a man, do his thing, and you do your thing and do your, but still be, have your place in the household. You're not going to be the one to jump in front of a bullet if somebody come in and you're into your household. Absolutely. You're not going to be the one to jump out like, no, stay there, baby. I got
it. I have this discussion all the time. But what has happened is, it's gonna get sticky now.
Get sticky, big dog.
What has happened is, due to the feminist movement, the woman has been allowed, not just the black woman, but the woman has been allowed to play on what her gender role is, right? Because
play on it or dictate what they gender
play on it, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Because she's no longer the 1950s woman who stays home, and that's all she does, and she's taken care of, and all of those things. Her excuse is, pretty much, you got to retire her. Okay, if you want a 1950s woman, you have to provide a 1950s lifestyle. And because she's no longer a 1950s woman, because she's a progressive woman, right? And she's working, and she's buying things, and she owns things, right?
Right.
It's hard to bring her back there, right? It's hard to control it, because she's not.
And that's the thing.
She's not open to submission right away, right? Because she has been doing it on her own for so long.
But it's not a thing of control. That's the thing, and that's I guess how they feel like. I mean, I'm sure that's
but
how.
For so long, that's how it's been, right?
Yeah,
it's been this stigma. So she's been able to play on it, because now I'm no longer the 1950s woman, and I'm progressive. And so with the progressive woman comes, hey, I work too. Hey, we both got jobs, so you need to get in here and do some dishes. Hey, we both got jobs. You need to clean and cook as well. Hey, we both got jobs. You need to wash clothes and fold them as well. Hey, now, but the thing is about a man, because as men, right, we've helped perpetuate what the stereotype of a man is, right? Because we would be the first guys to be like, oh, he ain't no real man, right? Because he ain't doing this. We do this shit all the time. And a real man do everything, right? He cut the grass. He whoop ass. He's a great lover. A real man is a cold piece of work. So when the ideology of what you call a real man, right? We all know that that's impossible to actually live up to all the time. But the picture that we've painted of a real man is always protection, provision, provide. I mean, protection, provision, security. Those are the things that we can't play with those, right? Because if you don't do one of the three, you're not a man. Women can now play with cooking and cleaning because she's progressive, right? She doesn't necessarily have to cook your dinner. She's working, right? She doesn't necessarily have to
But
fold
that's
clothes. She's going
this
to
is the
school.
understanding though.
And so that's where the understanding comes. But if culturally she has not been taught that no matter what you're doing, no matter how you progress, you're supposed to be the backbone for this man to be great, right?
Yeah. But the woman, this I think this is one of the things that like we should have more discussions about when it comes to this, because a lot of women get upset when you go out of your race. You know what I mean? To be with somebody. No, I'm just saying that a lot of women do. They get upset because they go out because you go out of the race to be with someone and they don't understand. Like why you don't want a black woman? Why you don't want somebody in your own race? You know what I'm saying? And if you can find someone within your own culture and your own race or whatever, that actually a woman that actually knows her role, that's the woman that's gonna last. That's the woman that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna basically, but if you just happen to find somebody outside of that race and she knows her role, then that's who you're gonna go with. Because that's where you're happy. And that's the thing is that's why it has gotten away from us as much as a lot of people has been saying, a lot of women, black women that get on these pedestals or whatever, and complain about it. Why black men go to a different woman, or a white woman go to a different a white man, or whatever the case may be, is because of people knowing their role. And basically practicing their role. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that's what makes the relationship strong. You know what I mean? What
Phil
why you
gonna get
laughing,
us
dog?
killed, y'all. You hear this shit this man
That's real
said?
though. That's
But you're
real.
right. It
You know what I'm
makes it.
saying? That's what makes the relationship
I'm
strong,
gonna
is
agree.
knowing
I'm
your
gonna
role.
agree
Because
with
when
you.
you get in those arguments about who got what and who's doing what, or even if you have an inkling of thinking within a relationship, even that you guys live together, that this person can let me go anytime or have this attitude because she knows that she don't really need me if she don't want to. If you know what I mean, that type of thing or whatever. And when they have that type of attitude or whatever, it's because they don't really they don't know their role. And it causes havoc within the relationship. You know what I mean?
This is what I'm learning as a man, though. It don't matter what you make, you always need me because I'm a man. And that's what makes me a man.
That's what they supposed to have. That's what they're supposed to know.
That's what makes me a man.
Right.
Because of what I bring to the table as a man. What I'm learning is you just kind of gotta, with our women, you just gotta kind of earn it. It sucks. But we have to be patient and understand that our women are as we are 100 years behind financially, I mean economically, and in education. They are behind in 100 years in culturally, in traditions as well, right? Their traditions fade every 10 years. And so when you talk about these other cultures, they see this every day, right? A lot of the women, and this is not all black women, because
No, it's not all. It's not all. Some black women know their role.
We have a great example of a woman knowing her role in our last first lady,
Exactly.
because she gave up a hell of a job to make sure he was president. And so she understood her role. Did she always agree with it? No. Did she have her times where she was upset with it? No. But she do to make it work and to make him who he was. But then that's also because she comes from a 2-parent home. She's seen her mother and father work it out, and she's seen her mother be a great woman. but also take care of the home. I think
That's a big
that
difference. That makes a
it is
big
a huge difference. It's a huge difference to be able to see that. I think that in our culture, women are just taught not to need us, and not to look for that in us. And about time they do find us, because they've been doing it so much on their own, you have to prove to them that you can take the wheel, right? Because she's been doing it efficiently on her own for a certain amount of time. And then that would be for you too, right? If
I
you've
think
been
I
doing
think you just hit
something.
a point. I think you just hit something on the nose just now.
Mhm.
Is being able, because of the way that our culture is and the way that certain upbringing has been. I think in order to have that, what you said as far as knowing each other's role, is being able to prove that.
Mhm.
Be able to prove that.
Gotta be able
Uh,
to prove it.
and proving don't, I don't know if proving, when you say proving, don't mean it as far as like how much you make, or are you
In
talking
all
about
aspects.
the household, or are you
What I'm
talking
learning
about
is in all aspects, right? Emotionally,
emotion? Yeah,
mentally, physically, financially,
yeah,
spiritually. It's in all aspect. I'm
right,
learning.
right,
That's why I learn to be a better man every week. Um,
right, right, right.
it's lo- I don't want to say seeking her approval, because I don't like that. Um,
No, it shouldn't be seeking her approval.
No, because
It's
that's not
more
the
so.
word.
It's more so.
Showing her that it's okay for me to take the reins is making me a better man, because
Right.
it makes me check myself, right? And constantly critique myself. Okay, well, why is it so hard for her to trust me? Why is it
But
so hard?
what if you did all that and
Then you have to realize that
evaluate the situation
maybe
from
your
this?
woman is just not in that space.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, your woman may not just be in that space. She's, like I said, she may just been doing it efficiently for so long on her own that she just don't. She's petrified to let you take the wheel.
mhm.
And you got to kind of be open to that, right? You got to kind of understand that and be patient with that, because you know that she's been through these things, and you understand that she has issues, right, with the
Is that a
control.
conversation though that I think that one should have at the beginning of relationship, as to what your roles are, or do you just kind of go by the fact that y'all want to be together, y'all want to build something together, but we ain't really on the whole role thing or whatever. Should there something be said at the beginning, or should it be during?
I think that's a great point, man. I think in the beginning is a good time. But I think over time things could change too, man. I do think
Because
that
I think one thing about our black women, if you had that conversation, they would tell you what they expect from their
right,
mate. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But if it but and the man should be the same way. This is what I expect from my woman. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that way you kind of weigh as to, is this something I want, or is this
But I
something I
do
don't
think
want?
that it changes, right? And
It will change, yes,
I
I
had to kind of
concur.
get over this too, because I'm old school, I'm traditional.
Mhm.
Um, I'm old school, and I believe a woman should be in the kitchen. You feel me? Should be cooking, but logically, if she's busy and she's doing something, is there anything wrong with me switching a role and cooking? Right? I think that is based on your relationship as well. It's personal. Um, I think that with the new times, I think we can hold on to gender rules and still understand that I can also help in those roles.
As long as you understand, yeah, if you
Right? I think
understand
that
the gender rule,
understanding, but it goes back to what you were saying, is setting setting a standard in the beginning of the relationship, saying, hey, this is what I expect and this is what I expect, and then how can we meet in the middle?
right?
But I do think that over time things could change, right? You could have started out unemployed and she was the breadwinner, right? Or and then over time now you're the breadwinner and she's thinking about picking up going back to school and doing something. And so it always constantly changes just because the time has changed. So I think as men we do got to think of that. But I do think that because it's so many knuckleheads out here, it makes it hard for a woman to recognize a brother who's really about the business as well. And so we kind of all get clumped up and meshed up in that situation. I do think that when you do meet the right sister, she will begin to fall into her role as she sees what she wants to see. And that's the thing that bothers me, and that's the thing that becomes hard for me. And that's why I say it makes me a better man, because the challenge of still pushing forward and showing and proving and showing and proving until one day she said, well, hey, I'm gonna let you take it. Because
let's get D real quick. She said time has changed. Time has changed. Most women still playing their positions are miserable in submission because of what they were taught. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. Is basically is because of what they've been taught, and basically how they had to, come up and see how their own, especially single parents, had to, bring them, do everything themselves, or whatever. What do you think though, as far as D, as far as the gender roles, as far as now the gender roles or whatever? What do you?
That's what she was saying. That's what she's saying. She's saying that most women still playing their position are miserable, and she's saying in submission because of what they were taught. So,
she's saying, my bad.
Yeah, from different opinions. So she's saying that, and I think that that's a big gripe with women as well. That's another reason why the feminist movement was able to make such push.
Why would she be miserable?
Well, women are saying that. I hear women are just tired, nigga. Sorry, women are tired. This is what I'm hearing. The masses. This is what I'm hearing. The masses is telling me women are tired of that shit. They tired of cooking. You can go cook your own food. They tired of fetching your drawers. You can go get your own drawers. They tired, bro.
Okay, but when you say that though, is you're saying black women?
No. I'm not just saying black women.
No, because
black
I know. Let me. I don't know any culture. I don't know any culture. At least that I don't know. I just say I don't know. You guys don't come at me because I don't know it. But
all women,
I don't know any culture besides our own or whatever. The women will get tired of the attitude and everything of not wanting to play their role as in a household. You know what I mean? I've seen. I mean, I've gone to parties or whatever. I've gone to parties or even picnics or anything like that, or even at the amusement park. You know what I'm saying? The woman be making sure that man got something to eat. The man got something. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing or whatever. And I see that man is definitely going to protect his woman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his role. So when I say gender roles or whatever the case may be, that's what I'm talking about. Not to the point where you doing your thing and you're miserable. Because if you're miserable, then obviously something's not going right with the happiness of your relationship, and it's not just the part of having that gender role, that role.
Well,
see what I'm saying? That's what I said. But let's get D, because I want D.
Go ahead. I like that D.
I want because I want a woman's perspective on this or whatever. Men have to evolve and realize that we created equal, and we don't have to do all these things that they require or for feel superior.
I don't agree about the feel superior.
It's not a point of feeling superior.
I
don't think it's a point of feeling superior. And that's basically, I think that is one of the things that people, and that's where we get away from it, because, you think we're trying to feel superior as opposed to just actually just knowing a man's role and what a woman's role is.
I put it to my woman like this the other day. A part of me going to work and provide for this house is me eating the night before. Because without the I'm sorry, I just gotta say this. Without the proper nutrition and the proper meal to eat the night before, I don't have the energy to provide for this household. So to correct the superior part, it's not necessarily superior part. It's understanding that we are a team, and my submissiveness assists him to do what I need him to do as protection, provision, all of the things I need him to do. And so
understanding the role.
But I do understand that over the years, and we as men have to understand this and be responsible and aware of this, is that over the years, many men have used the gender roles of women to feel superior to them by saying, hey, I make all the bacon, all you do is supposed to be barefoot and pregnant, and not letting her
And that's
know.
not what we're saying.
But no, I
That's
get
not
no,
what we're
what I'm saying is when women hear these words,
That's
the
what
proof
they
is in the
think.
pudding.
That's
The
where they're
proof is in the
going.
pudding.
Yeah.
This is what Didi is saying.
That's what
When women
that's
hear
exactly what
these
we're saying. And
words,
that's not what,
they
but that's what I'm trying to
immediately
tell her.
think
That's not what we're saying.
that men feel. But a lot of men, hold on though. You as a man who has a conscious mind may think so, but there's a lot of men that do perpetuate the white male supremacy of that. I make the money, you barefoot and pregnant. And I've been guilty of it. We all been guilty of it because that's just how we were raised as men. And we do have to understand that we need to maintain the gender roles, but women as a whole, right, are just different now.
Yeah, I want to address D. It's not really about being submissive. It's not really about being uh 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 superior. It's not about that. It's about just kind of knowing your role, and it's not, it's the fact that you are the woman, I am a man. You know what I'm saying? And there's, certain things like, yes, like Fat Boy we're saying, at times I'm going to cook, at times I'm going to clean. You know what I mean? But we just know as a man and as a male what our role is. You know what I mean? And not to say that, you know what I'm saying, oh, because if my role, especially if we start off at the very beginning of a relationship and I'm not making as much, I don't work as long or whatever, I'm home before you or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you working 10 hours, I'm working 8 hours or something like that, or or even I was working 6 part-time or whatever, you know what I mean, then yeah, I have time and I take on that role to do what I need to do for my woman. You know what I mean? But in all hindsights or whatever, I think the woman should still really know what their role is as far as being a woman. Period. You know what I
Ain't
mean?
nothing wrong with that. I
There's
agree.
nothing wrong with that. There's
There's
nothing
nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with
that.
that.
And it's not being
I just do
superior. It's
think
not
that we
being
gotta understand
submissive,
that.
whatever, because I can be submissive to you too, baby. You know,
Yeah.
you know
I
what I'm
just think
saying?
that we gotta understand that. I just feel like women triggered by that shit now,
Yeah.
especially black
And I
women.
think it's all in the narratives of how we, how people or how everyone looks at it. And if most one of them look at it like D was just saying, feeling more superior, you know what I mean, then that's basically the
It
wrong
makes
way to
sense.
look at it.
But
You
then
know
it
what I mean?
makes sense on why we get what we
But
get.
it does make sense why exactly. It does. It does. Yeah, but I appreciate that comment,
I
D.
appreciate that, Didi.
Yeah. She said talk to women who are still submissive. Yeah, and it's not really like that. I don't look at it as being submissive, but I do see it as, still kind of knowing what your role is or whatever. I mean, I think we both, yes, should help in the household or whatever. But if I am working like my ass off or whatever too, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, what do? We got to come to some kind of conclusion, but still know each other's role. Period. Um, let's see. Oh, let's real quick. Last one, man. Last one. We gonna win overtime. I thought we was gonna go and be on time this time, but
You want to do this one? You want to say that one for next week?
uh, would you? Well, might as well. It could be quick.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just kind of came up with this one because it was kind of like one of those things. I watch too much soap operas.
Mhm.
Like, look, is that a role? That a male role? Watching too much.
Ignorant. Me been
Watching
watching soap operas for
movies
years.
and crap, right? But this right here, why would you date your ex relative? Your ex's relative.
No,
Why or why not?
no.
And why not?
I ain't into that kind of shit, man. That's kind of messy for me. That's just too close. Yeah, it's just too close for me. And then I just don't want to be seeing you all the time. Anyway,
You
you
still
know?
see the ex.
Yeah, and then I think that's kind of tacky too. I think it got a little tackiness to it.
Do you believe that people actually, fall in love with the ex, with the ex relative?
I mean, I think you can fall in love with anybody.
And if so, do you believe that person probably knew at the time that they were seeing that person all the time while they were with you?
That's a deep one. Yeah, that could be a thought. That could be a thought. What I would have thought you were always messing with them. You know what I'm saying? Or always talking or always seeing. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. That could be an issue.
Oh, okay. Would I? No, I don't think I would,
And why not?
because for one, like you said, it's messy. Two, um, that would basically seem like I was saying before, that I was basically already trying to mess with that person while we were together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at people in a certain way. You looked at them in a certain way. Now, I do understand that sometimes, when people break up or whatever, and however close that other relative is, whatever, you know what I mean, and y'all met like maybe years later or something like that, and y'all just started, y'all just on the same page, y'all vibed, everything worked or whatever, and y'all fell into each other or whatever the case may be. Um, I don't think I could still be in the mindset though of being with you if I being with your relative. You know what I mean? It don't make sense. It don't,
Yeah, I
uh,
think that shit's
but
just.
I can't say, and I don't get me. Don't, I hope people don't get mad at me, but I've seen a lot of white people do
Oh
that.
yeah, they do it all the time.
And
Yeah,
that's
white
what I
people
was
wow.
saying.
White people wow with that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't think we do it, but I
I just
seen.
don't think. I just don't think it's cool.
Yeah,
But if you can do it on a respectful, professional level, all power to you. I'm not into it.
yeah. I think it just really. I think for one, it messes up the relationship with that relative that you was with. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
I ain't trying to fuck
And,
up your
and
family.
you should, especially as you being blood with someone, as opposed to trying to go outside at just to be happy to, either get paid or sex or whatever it is that you're doing with this other person or whatever. That relative should overtake all of that to me.
Absolutely.
So I see that crazy stuff on TV or whatever. So I'd be like wondering, like, do people really? And a lot of people, like I said, a
It
lot of white
happens.
folks do it or whatever, and they really, it's kind of like really disappointing. But I just wanted to get a perspective of a brother, another brother,
Yeah, nah.
and those of you that are watching viewer. D just said, "Oh, let me hear real quick. I mean, we can get out of here. You still saying that cooking is our job at the end of the day, and who made that up?"
I'm gonna let you know this.
Yeah,
Since the beginning of time, a woman has been the helpmate of a man. I need y'all to stop. Like, don't let the feminist movement knock you off your path to where you don't know that part of it.
that part.
That is the true reason why the woman was created. She is a nurturer and she is to produce and take care of a household. Now, through time, shit has gotten progressive and you can't necessarily say that anymore. But
Right.
the truth of the fact, that is the real reason why a woman is what a woman is and a man is what a man is.
Yeah.
Since the days of hunting and gathering,
Yeah.
this is how this shit has been. So let's not try to make it seem like we just throwing this shit out there and we just
Right.
made this
Right.
shit
Right.
up. No, since the beginning of time, men went out and hunt, they brought the food back, and the women cooked it. That's just how this shit been. Because you know why? Women didn't take their ass out there to go hunt.
Right.
Right? So, but since now women are able to go hunt, you guys feel like you don't have to cook the bacon. That's all it is. That's
Yeah.
just really, that's really what it is. It's like you bring in the bacon, you don't want to cook it anymore. But
Right.
technically, that's why culturally everybody else does it, because it's like a written law. That's what the woman does. I'm
Yeah.
sorry
Yeah.
to break
Yeah.
it to you, and I love you dearly,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
that's just
Oh
how
yeah.
the shit go.
But you
If
said it
bibli-
very well.
if you biblical, Adam was already on earth. Eve was solely bought on earth as his helpmate. That's if you want to go biblical. So
And what did she feed him?
you know what I'm saying?
So what did she feed him? Right?
A bad
She
apple
fed him.
at that. So listen,
So
I agree with what you're saying, right? The
I
stereotype, but
understand exactly what she said.
I also don't want you, because I think a lot of women do this as well, to get caught up in the propaganda of not understanding the importance of knowing the role of the woman in the household, right? Because there's an importance, that's an important job to be able to do that. But because Black women have been taken out of that role for so long, and she's been independent, and she got to do what she got to do, she's not understanding that, and immediately she relates her plight with the feminist movement plight, and it's a whole different plight, and that's why we're disconnected as a culture, because a big part of it is our women don't submit to us.
And just to say too, it's not
Shout out
saying
to you, Didi. Great conversation.
Right. It's not to say that, that a woman should still come home from work and do everything.
No, absolutely
We're not saying that at
That's
all.
absurd.
We're just saying in a general of understanding what your role is. You know what I mean?
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong.
And there's nothing wrong with establishing roles and saying, hey, I don't mind doing this, because you want a man to establish his roles. You don't want him to come in and say, you don't want him to come and say, you still telling me I'm here to protect and provide to you. Who told you what? Who told you? Who made that up? Right? If a man walked in the door and said what you just said, you gonna kick his ass to the curb so fast. And I just feel like we gotta call a spade when we do that.
And don't misunderstand neither that a man, just because he's a man, that he can be around and just lag around and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. They get that mixed up sometimes. They think that we're saying, oh, that you can, come in and you just lay on the couch and play video games and do whatever and do nothing. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying, as far as, a man has to know his role just as well.
Absolutely. Man,
you know what I'm saying? And that role takes a lot. You know what I mean?
It does.
She said facts.
Fact.
That's gonna do it for us, man. As usual, we went longer than we were supposed to. But that's all good. I appreciate everybody that commented. D, definitely appreciate you. Rob, if you're still there, you know what I'm saying? I know we went a little bit longer. Marlon and everyone that's basically been on here. Definitely continue to watch us. Let us know if 8 o'clock is cool. You know what I'm saying? Is this time better? What do you think, Fat Boy? Is this better, or you think?
It depends. Yeah, it's cool though. I like it. Like a nice little.
Let's see what our numbers. See what our numbers look like after this, and I, kind of go by there. I guess go by that. But other than that, man, you got anything before we go?
No, man. Thank you. Didi still in the comments going crazy right now. But thank you.
I didn't get it. Oh, there she.
Yeah, she still got a bunch of shit going on over here. She goes, Didi, it's okay. I understand. I understand.
I'm not biblical. History.
I understand. AKA historic. Listen, go back to any culture, African culture, American culture. This is just how shit has been done.
It's any culture, pretty much.
You just were raised in the 21st century where that shit is appalled. Yeah. Like you didn't see your mother or your aunties doing that shit. And so it seems like what I'm saying is that's just how shit is. And that is the reason why other cultures are prosperous and we aren't. Because they just understand that, and it's hard for our Black women to get that.
It's hard to even say that.
I love that you.
It's hard to even say that.
I love the way that you responded, because that's the response that we get, and this is what we're saying. This is why this topic was even brought up, because this is the response that we as Black men is faced with when we discuss gender roles with our women, because she immediately does not want to accept them.
Yeah,
she does not want to
or like the word she used, superior. She thinking
she immediately thinks I'm trying to be bigger than her. But immediately, if I don't do my job as a man, I ain't a man. And you cannot flip it and then say, oh, well, that's a fact as a man, but it's his story when it comes to the woman's role in gender. And no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not gonna keep doing it. But that's what's been allowed. But go ahead. Thank you, man.
No. That's it, man. We gonna get on out of here. I appreciate it, Didi. All right, I said DD, not Didi. I don't know if it's just
Didi. Yes, Didi. Yeah, right.
But yes, definitely, tap in with us next time we're on. You get the notification. Make sure that you subscribe. We appreciate you coming in. And if you got any conversations that you want to, us to talk about, hit us up. firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. That's firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. And we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with nice little conversation.
No,
you know what I mean? That's what I got. With anything you said, nothing. Fat boy, you good?
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Well, and with that,
and remember, If they
If they
talking about
talking
you
about you
behind your
behind your
back,
back,
they behind you
they
for a
behind
reason.
you for a reason.
Peace.
Peace.
All our illusions will disapparate, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We say no.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Hey.